Ryan slipped on the sleek new VR headset. He thought he was stepping into the future of gaming. The world blinked black, then lit up in breathtaking detail, forests swaying, shadows whispering, footsteps crunching on soil that felt too real. But when he tried to log out, the command didn't work. His heart skipped. The voice in his headset whispered, "Welcome, Player One. The game only ends when you do." Ryan had been waiting for this moment for weeks. The sleek black box had arrived at his door that morning, its packaging promising the future of virtual reality. Inside was a headset unlike anything he had seen before, lightweight, polished, with no wires, no controllers, just a single band of glass and steel that seemed to hum with power. He slid it over his eyes. The world vanished. A rush of static swept through his vision, then cleared into something breathtaking. Ryan stood in a dense forest, every detail alive. Leaves shimmered as wind brushed past him. His boots crunched against damp soil, and in the distance, a stream glistened beneath golden light. For a moment, he laughed out loud. It felt more real than any game he'd ever played. "Menu," he said. "Nothing." "Exit." Still nothing. Ryan frowned. Maybe he had missed a tutorial. He raised his hands, searching for an interface, but the world remained solid and untouched. The trees didn't glitch. The ground didn't flicker. It was flawless. Too flawless. Then, a voice. It was smooth, synthetic, but disturbingly human. "Welcome, Player One. Your journey begins now." Ryan froze. The headset hadn't mentioned voice narration. Can I save?" he asked nervously. Silence. Then the voice returned, closer this time. "There is no save. There is no exit. The game ends only when you do." Ryan's stomach dropped. His laugh cracked into nervous chuckles. Some creepy marketing gimmick, he told himself. Still, his chest tightened. He walked deeper into the forest, calling out, "Hello? Is anyone else here?" That's when he noticed something strange. Footsteps, not his. They echoed behind him, heavy, deliberate, always a second too late. He spun around, nothing but trees swaying in the wind. "Okay, this is seriously next level," Ryan muttered. "Who programmed this?" He pressed forward, but the forest seemed endless. The trees bent and twisted into unfamiliar shapes, and the path ahead blurred as though it were rearranging itself. It reminded him of nightmares, where you try to run, but the world shifts against you. Minutes or maybe hours passed. Ryan couldn't tell anymore. His body didn't ache, didn't tire, but his mind felt strained, locked in a world that wouldn't let go. Then, in the distance, he saw it. A figure, standing perfectly still between the trees, watching him. Tall, shadowy, its outline pulsing faintly like static. Ryan's breath hitched. He whispered. The figure tilted its head, slowly, too slowly. Ryan took a cautious step forward. "Hey, can you hear me?" No response. Another step. The figure didn't move, but the forest around him darkened, as if the light itself was being drained away. The voice returned, this time not from his headset, but from everywhere at once, trees, soil, even the air vibrating with sound. "Player One, you've been chosen. To win, you must survive. To quit, you must..." The moment the room dissolved around him, Ryan felt a jolt in his chest. He was no longer in his apartment, no longer in the comfort of his gaming chair. Instead, he was standing barefoot on cold, polished tiles. A faint buzzing echoed in his ears, like static from a dead channel. He looked down. His VR headset was gone, but the world around him wasn't real either. The corridor stretched infinitely in both directions, lined with mirrors that reflected his terrified face. The strange part was, the reflections didn't move at the same time as he did. Some were delayed. Others smirked while he stared in panic. A voice whispered behind him, "Do you want to play forever?" Ryan spun around. Nobody was there. Only more mirrors stretching endlessly. His throat tightened as his phone vibrated in his pocket. He pulled it out. The screen lit up with a single notification. Game over. You lose. His hands shook. He hadn't even played anything yet. Then, from the corner of his eye, one of the mirrors rippled like water. His reflection stepped out of it smiling, but its eyes were completely black. "Welcome to the next level," the reflection said. Its voice was distorted, overlapping like multiple recordings at once. Ryan backed away, but the ground beneath him wasn't tile anymore. It was pixelated, glitching under his feet. He stumbled, trying to find balance, but his reflection lunged forward. It grabbed his wrist with an icy grip, forcing him to look into its void-like eyes. "Every choice you make here feeds the game," it whispered. "And the game never ends." Ryan screamed and yanked free, running down the corridor. His breathing echoed, bouncing endlessly against the mirrors. No matter how far he ran, the hallway never ended. His legs burned, but the mirrors kept showing him versions of himself older, broken, bleeding, or lying dead on the floor. He stopped, trembling, when one reflection showed him something different. It wasn't him, but his apartment. His own body sat slumped in his gaming chair, the headset still on his face. The skin around his mouth was pale, and his chest wasn't moving. His heart dropped. He was already dead. The realization made the buzzing louder, swelling into a deafening roar. The corridor flickered with static. Suddenly, dozens of his reflections stepped out of the mirrors at once, surrounding him. Each wore the same black, empty eyes. "You chose to play," they chanted in unison. "Now you play forever." Ryan tried to scream, but no sound came out. The reflections closed in, their faces stretching into distorted grins. Cold hands grabbed his shoulders, his arms, his legs, pulling him toward the glass. He thrashed wildly, but the more he struggled, the stronger their grip became. One final reflection leaned in close, whispering directly into his ear, "This game doesn't need a console. It needs a soul." The mirrors shattered, swallowing him whole. Back in his apartment, the room was silent. The game console sat idle, the VR headset still on Ryan's head. His phone buzzed again, a same notification flashing. New player added, the game continues, and somewhere, in another home, another late-night gamer would soon see the same pop-up. "Do you want to play forever?"